Are you a woman who is ready to take control of her life and achieve anything she wants? In this podcast, you will find the inspiration and motivation you need to become an empowered and successful woman. Hi, my name is Laura Hearn, and I'm so excited for the new season of the Empowered Modern Woman podcast. This season is for women who are fed up with being held back by society's expectations. We're going to talk about everything from career advice to health and fitness tips to help you live your best life. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to hit subscribe and to tune in every week for each of our new episodes. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Empowered Modern Woman podcast. I am so excited to have Brooke Ceballos-Piñero as our guest today. She uses her 20 plus years of servant leadership experience in corporate America and her educational and team sports background to build her active real estate portfolio. She's on a mission to empower marginalized communities financially where they work, live, and play through investing. She's passionate about health and fitness, travel, female empowerment, and fighting injustices. She and her husband, David, live in Northern California. They have 4 daughters, a dog named Bella. Brooke is just a health nut, a tomboy, a protector, and just super freaking badass. And I'm so excited to have her here today. So, Brooke, how are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. And you said my name perfectly. So, yeah, Laura.
Bringing in my Hispanic, right? Bringing in my madre into this.
That's right. Get that flavor, girl. Get that flavor.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. I know that you are always crazy busy and on the run doing so many things. And I just know that the listeners are going to get so much from just hearing about your story, about your passions, and how you're making an impact, especially for women in business. So thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So
let's go.
I always ask, a couple questions in the beginning to just loosen things up. But I know you don't really need loosening up because we're already best friends. But
let's go.
When it comes to your mission of female empowerment through, real estate and through investing, what is kind of your guiding light? What's most important to you that you always keep in the forefront while, you're living your hectic life?
Hectic is an understatement. So you're so funny. I always tell people when they're like, how do you do all of this stuff? And when you're presenting, it looks like you're just all together or everything's so put together. I'm like, you don't see the duct tape holding everything in the background and me running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Okay. So let's just put that out there. Hectic is very hectic. Okay. What keeps me on my mission in the forefront is knowing that we have 4 daughters, looking up to me, one, and those that I am connected with, we have an extreme form of accountability, as well as not to get overly religious, but I feel that God put us all here for a reason and a purpose. And by you not sharing your gifts with the world, you're doing everybody a disservice. But first and foremost, our daughters, we have a blended family. So we have, my daughters are 15 and 11, and my husband's daughters are 18 and soon to be 14, and they are women of color. Okay. So one, being a woman, it's hard enough as it is, but having Latinos and Afro-Latina, Puerto Rican, Nicaraguan, Mexican, Basque, Black, in one household, that empowers me to know that I have eyes that are looking at me, as well as I am, the breadwinner. I'm very blessed to have a husband who supports me in everything that I do. And whatever I need, he's there. And so because a family of 6, I'm kind of I am leading the charge, not kind of. It comes, what does my husband say? The heavy is the crown, right? Heavy is the crown. So every day I am constantly motivated, whether it's my husband patting me on my ass when I fall and I'm ready to pull my hair out. Luckily, I have a lot of it. Right? I always tell people naturally nappy, y'all. Or my daughters, seeing the things that they go through sometimes in a day-to-day and wanting to be an inspiration to them. It's a long answer, but yeah, that's the answer.
No, it's a beautiful answer. I have one daughter, and it's so important to lead by example. And even when days are rough, to not throw the towel in. And I see that a lot, especially with women in business. We get so frustrated with these different societal expectations of what it is to be a good wife, what it is to be a good mom, and what does that actually look like. And adding in the Latina background, and I got the grandma, I have the abuela, and all of that, and the things they say about, why are you doing all of this? Why and it's just like, it's different. Like, it's different. And it's so important to me as well to kind of lead by example and show that it is possible. Whatever you really want to do, it is possible if you put in that work and you surround yourself with a support system that gets it, that's like-minded. Because I feel like, we've talked about this before, that we sometimes tell the wrong people about our dreams. And I hate saying wrong people, because it's like, you want to share your excitement with your family, with your friends, but they just don't get it. And then their voices get in your head. Yes. And you start doubting, and your confidence just crumbles. Have you experienced that at all? Or some of the women in your network experience that? Like, tell me a little bit about your experience with finding the right group of people.
Okay, I'm glad you provided more of a focus on that, because I was going to say that's such a loaded question, right? From a family perspective or a friend's perspective. But I'm going to lead this answer with, how do you surround yourself with the right people? And I surround myself with the right people because I invest in myself. That being said, for my success in multifamily, and I should have on my bio specified that, investing with multifamily apartment buildings, right? Yeah. We focus on, instead of 401ks, we focus on multifamily apartment investing. That being said, and I'm going to rewind a little bit. So my journey started, I'm still in the corporate world, 20 years, sales, marketing, negotiations. COVID hit. I signed up with a Grant Cardone sales and marketing internship. And I'm like, man, I'm putting in fiber in all these buildings. I had a large team I was working with of techs, and nobody was in the buildings. That being said, at the end of our sales and marketing internship, he said, hey, you guys, I am known for sales and marketing, but where I really got my success from is real estate. So I went to the July summit. He gave us a VIP ticket. And I'm somebody who's always been a lifelong learner. You learn from the CEO, you learn from the janitor, you respect the CEO the same way you respect the janitor. It's a two-way street. The novice can learn from the rookie, and the whole night. You get it. Yeah. And that being said, when I was there around all these people, for us to start our journey on the real estate mastermind, it's $25,000. Okay. So that's not chump change. So going back to your question, how do you surround yourself with the right people? I had to pay for that, because friends and family, they don't understand your journey. I barely discussed what I do with friends and family when I started a 506B raise, which is a syndication of apartments with sophisticated investors, but you can't publicize it. It's also known as like a friends and family type of raise, right? And that being said, I barely started talking to them in this, and I'll be 2 years in my journey, because I did not want to hear, oh, we're so worried about you and this, and all the negative or this, any type of stuff that's going to get in your head, which I still end up getting once I finally reached out to them. Hey, we're doing this raise. But it's because I wanted to make sure that I overcame my obstacles and my own learning curve prior to getting friends and family in, right? And I didn't tell anybody about my journey. So, and I think there's positivity in that, because it causes you to be laser focused and tune out the noise, starve your distractions, feed your focus, so to speak. That being said, my network and those I surround myself with is very massive, but it's a pay to play game. Okay. So for my Grant Cardone network, who I love Grant, love him or hate him, he is a master of sales and marketing. Everybody has
110%.
But he's a master of sales and marketing, and he's fabulous in real estate. So that costs money. And then I paid into the Brad Sumrock group as well as the Michael Blanc group. And these are all on average, $25,000. I mean, and sometimes, and you can make payments on some of these if you choose to do so, because that is kind of a big bite to chew, but people have money. They're not realize that it's at, which we can discuss that later. And we have accountability. So I have calls with Michael Blanc. We have calls with Brad Sumrock. We have calls with Grant Cardone. We're at his offices. We have closed groups, together. Oh my God, I don't even know, like 7 WhatsApp groups. And then with Michael Blanc, I have a Circle app. And that's why I live on Do Not Disturb. And these people are so phenomenal. And it's not about, when you speak with friends and family, sometimes it's kind of like they lead. I don't want to say they lead with fear, but they think of all the things that can go wrong because they're worried about you, or they're trying to protect you, or whatever the reason behind it is. These group of people think of, why not? Or how can we get this done for you, Brooke? The creativity juices are just flowing.
Yeah, they push you. They push you to,
yes.
Because so many people, women, men, everybody, I don't care who you are, you're a human being. You'll be a purple alien, I don't care. You're here on this planet. We have a bad habit of putting a glass ceiling on ourselves.
Correct.
Where it's like, well, I made it this far. I'm comfortable.
Correct.
It seems there's not much pain going on here, and I'm not doing bad. But who wants to just not do bad? Like, really, let's think about that for a second. So how do you surpass that little ceiling you put on yourself of comfort, right? Your little cozy blanket in the corner with your, your snuggly. But it's by bringing in thought leaders. It's by bringing in these people that are wildly successful, that don't want to be on an island by themselves. They actually give a crap. They want to make your dreams a reality. It's like taking your personal definition of success and then surpassing it. And you can't do that around people that are just at the same level as you. You have to find the next level that you're trying to get to and beyond.
110%. And you hit the nail on the head with that. So let me rewind. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I know that's been said before. Okay, I know who conned that, but it's so true. And everybody in my network, I would say 80% of them, they're either where I'm at, but most of them are 30 years ahead of me, 40 years ahead of me, millionaires, billionaires. I call them the jet club, those that have their private jets and they jet across all these different properties so they can maximize their time, so they can leave in 2 or 4 properties in a day across the country and be home in time for dinner, right? So I am surrounding myself with people who have a massive think outside the box mentality, and it constantly keeps me on my toes, and we're constantly having conversations. For example, social media, me doing all these videos. I try to release something every day or a few videos a week. That was very difficult for me to get out of my comfort zone to do that. But because of the people I surround myself with, and there's such extreme accountability for people to call you out on your bullshit, because unfortunately we live in a country, in a world where everybody is coddled and you get a participation trophy for showing up. I don't want a participation trophy. I want to be so successful that I can pull a Beyonce, right? I can go cut a check and say, so for like, we have our favorite family, High Cesar, they run Typical Nika. They have a fabulous pop-up, and they're raising money to have a brick and mortar location. So regardless of the weather, we can go eat and people can enjoy their food. When I'm successful, I want to be able to cut that check and say, hey, Cesar and family, I'm going to pay for this building so you guys can have this. Pay me in food. When
And
our
if you haven't had Nika food, you're missing out. Okay, let me tell you that. My family's Nika also. Like, come on now.
Yes, it's not about you. And so many people are like, well, why aren't you satisfied? You have a wonderful corporate job with a 6-figure base. You can average a 15% of all of your commissions. You can be comfortable. Yeah, I'm taking care of myself, but what about everybody else? Like, I think good humans want to pay it forward. That's why the Grant Cardones and the Michael Blancs and the Brad Sumrocks of the world and Rod Khleif and the Jake and Genos and multifamily want to pay it forward and share their knowledge. I want to be able to cut a check. We sponsor a girl, Sophia Nina, in Guatemala. They get it to a 7th grade graduation. How fabulous would it be for me and my kids to go there and cut a check and help be in the dirt for La Escuela de Ceballos-Piñero? Create a school there. Leave a legacy for yourself. It's not about you. And so many people think you're selfish. That's not what it's about. It's leaving a mark.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that is another thing where people think we've been fed this lie for generations that money's evil, that these extremely wealthy people are just selfish and they're crooks, and all of these negative bullshit words that isn't true. It's just because the news just likes to put out when someone wealthy does something bad. Like, that's the only reason why we believe this, because I challenge everyone to really think about that. Like, is money going to change you? Are you just going to like abracadabra change into like a troll under the bridge because you were successful? No, most people are inherently good.
Correct.
And if you're able to reach your success, surpass your success, and now you're able to make an actual impact, because I don't care what anyone says. Sure, sweat equity is awesome, but if you can cut a check and make a difference in not just one person's life or just a couple people's life, but in a whole community's life,
you're winning. You're winning. And that's the thing that you kind of touched on too. Money is a currency, y'all. If you are a douchebag, you're going to be a major douchebag. If you're a fabulous human giving person, you are going to change the world. Okay. And that
it magnifies who you are. It magnifies you.
Thank you. It amplifies, it magnifies, it amplifies. And that's what it is, And I just wish people had a different mentality about money, because believe me, I grew up with a single mom, the oldest of 6 kids. We lived off of the church, and we lived off the government, and we lived off everything else, right? And so when I saw the struggles of my mom and her relying on men, love you, Mom, but yeah, it is what it's the truth. The truth hurts sometimes. And I told myself, I am never going to rely on anybody for what I want, which has hurt me and it's helped me, because I have a hard time asking for help sometimes. My husband's like, I'm not a mind reader. Just tell me what you need.
Do our husbands know each other? Because that's the same phrase that happens in my house on a regular basis.
Right. But as females too, was like, we got it all. I got this. I don't need anybody's help. And that was definitely something I had to overcome, is the ability to ask for help. And especially as our family grew and the responsibilities grew. So definitely, you have to be able to ask for help, and you have to be able to be vulnerable. And I had a point and I lost my point.
No. We're going to expand on it, and if it brings it back to life. But I think we're onto something really good here, because I see this, especially with women going from corporate world to entrepreneurship, because in the corporate world, it's such a dog eat dog game, especially amongst women. And I mean, inherently, it's because the corporate America wasn't like created for women. Right. And then it was like, oh, hey, we should probably hire some women for the boardroom, but we're only going to hire like what? So then we became fighting like bitches against each other to get that one spot instead of collaborating and working together. And when you leave corporate America or you start your entrepreneurship journey, that gear shift of meeting a community to literally going to these people that are massively successful and saying, I have this idea, I need help executing it. It is like a freaking culture shock, because we're basically told our whole career, don't ask for help, don't look weak, be a strong, badass bitch. But now you're like, I need help.
Right.
And you have to overcome that brain schism, and you have to ask for help. You have to go out and find those people that are going to lift you up and help you find the solutions, not necessarily give them, but help you get there and introduce you to more and more and more people, whether it's pay to play groups, whether it's just badass masterminds that, you know, yes, it costs money.
Correct.
But what if you never meet these people? These people have these opportunities for you. It's not pyramid schemes. It's not just paying for friends, you know, it's actually investing in your growth.
Correct. And I'm glad you said
don't
that.
Get that. They don't get that at all.
And you hit on something. So here's the deal. If you don't invest in yourself, how do you expect anybody else to invest with you or in you? The people we're surrounding ourselves with are very busy. They're millionaires or billionaires or running multiple businesses. Some of them have W-2s. When you show up and you're putting the money and you're investing in yourself, they are going to invest in you. There's no cuts in business other than mentorship. That's the only legitimate in business, a cut that's going to accelerate your growth, because you are now next to with these people who have been there, done that. They're 30 years ahead of you, right? So for people, they're like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine spending that much money just to be in the room with these people. Proximity is power. If you don't invest in yourself, we're not going to invest in you. And these people see that you're serious about your journey, so they're going to spend their hard time. Time is limited here on earth, okay? So when you're spending this money, they're spending their time with you. And that is going to cut your journey in half. Most people who've been on this journey, I started my journey 2 years ago in July, and I'm already over 1,000 units, 676 passive in Florida. We have 419 plus 62, and 419 plus 62, I'm trying to do math in my head, in Texas. You know what I'm saying? I go, we've been able to close our first deal, and this is partnership heavy. Nobody does this alone. This is a team sport, okay? So if you can't get in the room with the right people, you're killing yourself slowly and you're dragging the process out. You need to surround yourself with balcony people, not basement people.
And that's one thing that people view sales, because that's what we all do. All right. At the end of the day, whether it's real estate, investing, whatever, we're all selling something. We're selling a deal to get investors to invest in it. Blah, 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 blah.
You're selling date night to your husband. You're selling your husband what movie or dinner to go to. You're all salespeople. Get real.
We're all salespeople. But it's not a competition.
Absolutely not. No.
Because whether it's an investment property, whether it's a business service, consulting, coaching, whatever it is, dinner, you know, the right person is going to find the right deal.
Correct.
So just because, you know, Brooke has a deal and my husband's company has a deal, it doesn't mean that they're competing against each other. It means the right investors for each property is going to find them. And if Brooke can introduce, you know, Valiant Capital to the right people for that type of deal, and Valiant Capital can introduce Brooke and Empower Capital to their kind of deal in the right person that maybe that we networked with, but it wasn't a good fit, but they're looking for this different type of thing. That's what it's about. It's about sharing networks so that we can all be wildly successful. Correct. So you have to get the F over yourself.
Yes.
And 100%. Realize you got to show up and meet as many human beings as physically possible that either fit your deals or other deals so that we can all work together.
Collaboration is the new currency.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing.
I get so hyped up about it. I'm sorry.
And it's because some people just, like you said, they don't get it. And because to take down apartment buildings, like my first deal, I think it was like 68 million, it was 419 units in Dallas. We, with massive capital, my other partners, we have 30 partners. we're partnership heavy. You can't do this by yourself. One. Two, so many people, and this is to everybody listening, if you want to work and collaborate with people and you want, because this is a relationship game, okay? Yeah. People are going to collaborate and do deals with those they know, like, and trust. This is not a one-night stand. This is not a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We need to get to know each other and date. And so many people spray and pray. And what I mean by that, we go on our WhatsApp groups, social media, they just share, oh, I have this deal. I want, I need. Yeah. Without providing value to anybody. One, you don't even have a picture of your face on your WhatsApp, or you're not on social media. You're like this person behind the scenes. You don't show up to the calls to support anybody else or to learn or educate what we're excited about. And all you do is you go on and blast all of your needs. Lead with service. Lead with what's in it for your investors first. Provide more value. So that being said, I even set reminders for this because we're all doing raises. We're all raising for all different types of deals. But I always make sure that for every 3 to 4 posts, there's only one like, hey, I have this event I would like to invite you to. Does that make sense? So 4 or 5 posts need to be me providing value, sharing a market update, sharing, hey, I found this should be helpful to you guys. To every one, hey, I'm hosting an event, come network with me. Or hey, I'm hosting Dealmaker Live for Michael Blanc, please show up. Or I'm raising for this, come join our webinar. Because even though it is for the investors and it is a value play, because we all want to double our money in 5 years, give or take, and some plays allow you to do less, it comes across very, I don't know, selfish.
Me.
Yes, stop doing that. Try what you're sharing. And then people just blast all the crap about this is about me, and this is what I do, but you're not providing any value. So please lead with service. And I think it was Michael Bailey or Jasmine Sims, who's on our team, that said, serve people like you're serving God. Would you talk to certain people this way, or would you just slam them with a bunch of self-promoting crap? And then, you're not going to do that. You're going to lead with value, and you're not going to be that high pressure, like, weirdo that never supports anybody else, but you want everybody up to show up to you and support you. Support me. But where are you? Our humans, we're a quid pro quo. Hate to say that, but that's the truth.
That's how we're naturally programmed.
It works.
Yeah, it's just how we're programmed. And what's unique about that is within the women's circles of these entrepreneurship and investment groups is undoing the corporate America bullcrap that we already brought up. Because, and I've said this a million times on other episodes and everywhere on social media that you follow me, is that inherently women, we are genetically programmed to work in community.
Correct.
Like if you look back at like the early human civilization, we lived in tribes, in villages, and the men would go out and do their hunting or war party bullcrap stuff, the men things, and we would work as a community to harvest, to farm, to raise the children, to do medicine, to do all these things. We all had our specialty and our niches and things that we were good at, but we worked together to move our tribe, our village, our society forward. So going back to that is so important, especially I think it's come way more to light since COVID and all of that, where we realized we don't have community and now we are making it again. And I think that's one of the beauties of whether it's multifamily investing, whether it's just masterminds for different entrepreneurship genres, and learning to get over yourself.
Correct.
Is finding the right groups of women, and also just generalize everybody, men and women, that help you really shine in your role in what you really want to accomplish in life.
110%. You are, there's a saying, show me your friends and I show you who you are.
Yep.
You are the company that you keep. Birds of a feather flock together. Okay. So if you are surrounding yourself with people who are on autopilot and they're just getting by day to day, that's going to be you. You need to be around people that are way, 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 way more successful than you are. And I know we already discussed this, but I feel like women especially, we're so critical of ourselves. And one, and two, we have a hard time being vulnerable. Just like when I had to start doing these videos. Oh my God. In the beginning, I'm like, oh my God, my gray hair is showing. Oh my God, why does I have a double chin here? Like, God, I need to stick out my chin more. All this, oh my God, I broke out. Oh my God. And I even had a girlfriend of mine, like, Brooke, you have bags underneath your eyes. Like, put on a filter. And then she sent me a filter. And I'm like, I look white. No, I look pale. I'm not doing that. And Rachel Rogers, my point to this is, one, put yourself out there. And Rachel Rogers, who's the author of We Should All Be Millionaires, excellent book. You need to go get it. Eventually I'm going to join her group. She focuses on women and marginalized communities and them having a voice and making them wealthy. She said on her podcast, she said, it's not about you. It's about the message you're trying to deliver. So get out of your head. Stop worrying about the dumb shit that nobody notices. Whether you think you have a double chin or your face is breaking out, you look tired, get off your ass, think about your mission and just deliver the message. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to notice the things that we're the most insecure about, that we're fixated on.
They're going to notice that you showed up.
What happened? Yeah, you showed up.
That's all they're going to notice.
And women were just, and we're so, and I have to tell myself all the time, done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Get it out. If I make a mess up, I make a blooper, a kid runs in, that makes it more authentic. So what? I might look tired. Shit, man. We have 4 kids at any point in time. You know, it's a his and her blended family. We have a dog running through. Amazon knocks on the door every 5 minutes. That's my fault. I'm always ordering Amazon. You know, shit happens, you know. Or like the wind's blowing my hair around all over the place. So one of my videos, I look like Amy Winehouse. My sister's like, what do you do with your hair? I literally pinned it up and it looked like a rat net, but my hair was, I'm like, sister, I don't even care. I just had to get the freaking message out because of the accountability. Brooke, you haven't shared a video in a couple days. You know, there's a relation, you know, and we all talk a lot of shit and I need that. And sometimes you get up in the morning and I don't want to talk to people, which is why I don't do Calendly, you guys, unless it's for my Michael Blanc YouTube interviews that I do for first-time deal makers. I have a Calendly link for that. Because when I started, I would have all of these calls on Calendly, and I'd wake up like, I don't want to talk to anybody. But it's too much work for me to go and reschedule 4 or 5 people in a day that I have committed to. And now I look like a shitbag because I failed that commitment. So I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. You guys want to connect with me? Text me. Let's just do it on the fly. And if I'm in between calls, I'll just jump on a call. Hey, what's happening? Make it happen.
I mean, I only use Calendly for like 2 or 3 types of appointments.
Right.
The podcast and for like little intro calls. And I have it time blocked where there really isn't that many options for those times. And it's important.
I need to get better with it. Maybe I just haven't gotten that better with it.
But it's important to have boundaries so that you don't burn. It's important also
talk on it.
When it comes to communities, there's going to be times that you outgrow.
Correct.
Especially if you don't have the $25,000 to go into the big groups, right? You might have a budget that you're able to pay for a $1,200 a year mastermind because that's just where you're at. And that's cool. Invest it, start getting your everything going, and then find the next one.
Correct.
Level up. If you don't have the ability financially in any way to do $25,000, and there are a million ways to be able to invest that kind of money, but if you really cannot make that work, there are other types of masterminds and programs and communities out there that have a lower entry, but know that that's going to slow down your growth. You're not going to have as rapid results, but you'll have some results.
Correct.
But you have to also know when to throw the towel in on that group and upgrade. Because if you're stagnant, if you're settling again, if you are comfortable with that glass ceiling that you're putting on yourself, you're building your own glass house here, you're never going to get to the level of impact you want to make.
Yeah. And I wrote something down because I want to make sure that I do speak on this because a lot of people don't talk about this. So the reason why I was able to pay for this, so I was with AT&T for over 18 years. I am all in multifamily investing. I was able to take my 401k. So you can't take money out of your 401k, W-2 401ks, unless you're 59 and a half, you leave or quit the company, or there's an in-service rollover clause.
Yep.
So I know with AT&T Fidelity, if you work for AT&T, they have a Fidelity and you can do that. Thomson Reuters, my current W-2, you cannot do that, right? That being said, I left AT&T. I switched positions it'll be 2 years ago in May. I had a shit ton of money in my 401k. I liquidated that. I don't really believe in 401ks anymore, but my W-2, I'll match the minimum, or before I would maximize as much as I could.
Yeah, get
I
the
took
free
that
money
money and I invested it. So many people like, Brooke, how the hell are you in all of these masterminds? It's just so expensive. One, I go for broke. My base, I live off my base. All my commission checks are invested. One. Two, I took my money out of my 401k. For those of you in a W-2, call your W-2 job, your Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, whatever your 401k is with, and find out if you have an in-service rollover clause. This will allow you to transfer that money to a self-directed IRA, which then you can also contribute to your own investments. That's what a lot of people have done. There's literally trillions of dollars sitting in 401ks right now. And if you haven't, it's insane.
Don't even get me started on 401ks. No. 401ks are just good if they have a match and it's free money that you can take advantage of. Other than that, okay, next.
Yes, keep it moving.
What people don't realize is that 401ks is not like the same as having an IRA or an independent investment account or whatever, because you're only limited to whatever deal your employer brokered with that provider to save the employer money, not to save
deferring
you
taxes.
money.
It's not anything government regulated is not the greatest idea. So I'm not going to get into politics.
We're not going to go into that because I have another, my main job thing.
And we all have main jobs, but and that's the thing, is a lot of people have W-2s and this is a side hustle. And I've told my boss this, and I'm very transparent and open with this, even though I don't blast this on LinkedIn. I try to tread lightly on my LinkedIn profile because my W-2 is very heavy into that. And I know and I love everybody at my W-2. I truly do. But I told my boss, I'm like, listen, some people invest in 401k. I invest in apartments, so I am very vocal about that. I don't use company stuff to do that. I'm not crossing the line there. My days can start at 5 a.m, sometimes till 9, 10 o'clock at night. I am working. I'm talking with investors. Weekends, I don't Netflix and chill, y'all. If I take time out of my day because I'm working, whether it's my lunch period or 11 to 2 call, I am now making up that hour from 6 to 7 for my W-2. So I'm not losing traction for my W-2. You have to prioritize what's important. You live and die by alarms, calendars, etc. Even if I'm taking a walk outside, it's on my calendar. If I have to eat lunch, it's on my calendar. Because I'll go all day. Next thing you know, it's 2, 3 in the morning and I'm a cranky bitch because I didn't eat anything all day.
I have to do food reminders too. And that's really, really important, y'all. Like boundaries with your community and who you share what you're doing with. Boundaries with your time, because money is time and time is money, which goes right into that masterminds and paying for masterminds, because you're paying for other people's times and their thoughts and their help. And building out your day to be the most successful version and most productive and motivated version of yourself. Now, this is not saying don't take a walk, don't work out, don't do self-care things, because you have to do that so you don't get burnt out while juggling your main job, your side hustle, your this, your that, whatever. You have to create some sort of structure to set yourself up for success so that you can still have yourself, you can still take your kids to school and do what you have to do for your family and not completely blow that away, and also be a badass. And if you are struggling with that boundary creation, that time management, like reach out. Like there are so many people that know communities and other coaches and people that can help you directly with that. So don't be shy to be like, I suck at time management. Like we all did at one point. Like we all had the burnout. Like I have to do something about this.
Yes. Not everybody, you don't have it all figured out. You learn to delegate, you learn to delete, and you hire help.
Exactly. Exactly. But it all starts with investing the time and money in yourself.
Correct. First.
First. Like, y'all, I don't care if it's a $25,000 thing, a $1,200 thing. You have to start investing in yourself so that you can start growing in the right way, aligned with you, on track for your dreams, goals, impact, legacy, everything forward. I don't care if you are just thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, just thinking about investing, just in that ideation phase. Invest in yourself so that you can work with someone. I don't care if it's me, if it's part of Brooke's groups, if it's any other guest speaker that I've had on the podcast. I don't care who it is. If they resonate with you, if it makes sense for you, for the type of growth you are looking for right now, freaking do it. Because you're just wasting time just sitting there being like, oh, everything sucks. Stop sucking. Like, stop sitting in the suck and like get out there.
I love that you said that because our family's all military, you know, Marines, Army, Navy, you know, hoorah. What's up to my dad? You know, he was a retired chief in the Navy, and my uncle's Marines, grandfather was Army, the whole 9 yards, you know, and stop making excuses. Stop. That's why I like Grant. I know you can love him or hate him. He has pros and cons, y'all. But I knew I was going to meet him and that he was my vibe when he said, don't be a little bitch. Stop being a crybaby in a world where everybody points the fingers at everybody else. They don't take accountability. You know, take extreme accountability for your actions. Take control of your life, because everything you say, do, consume, read, listen, watch contributes to your success. And and I know this is so, you know, cheesy, but what you believe you can achieve. Like, what you tell yourself is what's going to happen, whether that's through affirmation, speaking your good. We are all energy. And I don't know. I don't relate to people. And there's a quote by Kobe Bryant that I love, that he says, you know, something along the lines, I don't understand lazy people. I don't want to understand lazy people. You know, it's something along about motivation. Like, I don't get you. I don't want to get you. You know, get off your ass, stop making excuses and take action. Something along those lines. I have it written down in my office, and I go, it's just, stop making excuses. Get off your ass. If you have money to Netflix and chill and buy the latest iPhone and all the bougie ass shit that people buy, you have money to invest in yourself. Okay. Stop making excuses and make a change. When people are on their deathbed, and I had a YouTube interview with Brad Pickett, and I love this, and this brought this back to light for me, that there's this parable, right? That when you're on your deathbed, there's these different versions of yourselves and spirits that come to you, like, Laura, what happened? You could have done this, this, and this with your life. And then it's, Laura, these are the skills. These are all the signs we brought to you. Why did you not do this? Why did you not share these gifts with the world? Look what you could have accomplished. And I'm like, damn, Brad. Like, and I'm very spiritual, you know, but I'm like, it brought things back to perspective again for me about why I'm doing this. And when times are hard, and this is not easy, y'all, you know, I don't watch TV, you know, but you can't remember, going back to what Laura said, think about why you're here. My husband, my kids, I'm very blessed because I tell them, if I'm not holding up my end of the bargain, so to speak, call me out. Like, my husband's like, babe, it's been 2 years since we had an adult vacation. Can we get an adult vacation? Like, we have date nights, but sometimes you need to get away for a while, just us. My 11-year-old mom, you said every 3 months at least we would go on a field trip, and you haven't been on one since like Halloween, Mom. So yesterday I was on a SpongeBob field trip with her.
No, right? That's awesome. It's
have people to hold you accountable, right? Tell me when I'm effing up, okay?
And I think that's the thing that I want to leave everyone with, is find your community that's actually going to hold you accountable.
Thank you.
Find your people that aren't going to let you settle for less, because there's so much more out there for you. And Brooke, I want to thank you so much, because every time we talk, I feel like we just get amped up. And
I know.
I'm ready to take on the rest of the day. It's just,
yes,
your energy is so freaking contagious, and I absolutely love you. You'll be able to get all the access to her Instagram, to her website, to her YouTube channel, her Facebook, everywhere. So if you are a woman who is looking to grow wealth while you sleep, yeah, I just introduced you to the right lady you need to know. So, Brooke, thank you so much for your time today. And y'all subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, and follow Brooke on all of her social medias. And again, thank you so much for your time today.
I appreciate you, Laura. It's all my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you, babe.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Empowered Modern Women podcast. Again, your host is me, Laura Hearn, and this podcast is for women who are fed up with being held back by society's expectations. We talk about everything from career advice to health and fitness tips to help you live your best life. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe and leave a review. New episodes come out every single week to help you find the inspiration and motivation you need to become empowered and successful. Be sure to follow us on social media at Money Mindset by Laura.